Good afternoon and welcome to the Employee Baltimore show. I am your host, Marvin McKinstry, Workforce Supervisor with the fabulous Mayor's Office of Employment Development. And this is the first time that we've come to you live in a few weeks. We've been running some of our shows that had great information that was still relevant while we've been retooling for the new year. And I'm excited today to be here because we have some awesome information to share. So, the very first thing I need you to do is the same thing I'm doing. Go to the share button and begin to share this video. Also, tag people. You hear talking? Tag people by name in the comments that you think could benefit from the great information that we're sharing today because we're going to be talking about making power moves. We're going to be talking about making the power move of getting into apprenticeship. I know. Soon as we hear apprenticeship, the first thing we think is young people. No, most of my apprenticeship success come from people who are tired of dead end jobs. You're a warehouse worker or you're a laborer somewhere, and there's no room for upward mobility. And you come into this apprenticeship process that not only gives you a lifetime skill and certification in most cases, it already dictates your growth and learning over time. And we're going to be talking to one of my good friends and brothers, a member of our team, who was a part of the fabulous work of apprenticeship that's happening in Baltimore, Mr. Lewis Monk. But before we get to Lewis, we got a few announcements that I want to share. Y'all know that the first thing we want to do is, as an agency, we want to send our love and our condolences to the family of Officer Kiana Holly. She was laid to rest the other day, and there was a great showing by the city who came out and essentially packed the convention center. And one of my really, really good friends and woman of God, past Apostle Jakia Ledbetter, came and gave words to many, many, many people in different capacities in this city. It was a reflection of who Kiana is because we don't use past tense language. Her legacy continues to live on. Is a reflection of who she is. You had police, city officials, community members, all kinds of people who had came together. And I hope that we can see a lot more of that and it not have to involve somebody dying. But we want to continue in prayer for her and her family, and continue to send our love and prayers to the men and women that do the difficult work of policing in the city of Baltimore, because it's not an easy job. It's a tough task. They receive a lot of scrutiny. Sometimes it's not even deserved. But we want to encourage our officers. They are on the front lines doing some things that we don't even have to do. And we want them to know that we appreciate them, and that we want to encourage them to continue to do the great job that they're doing. All right. Now, we got some announcements. Martin Luther King birthday is coming up this Monday. Well, let me go in order. All right, this weekend, this Saturday, me and the men of the We Are Us. I'm a part of the men, but when it comes to this neighborhood, I'm talking about myself. All right, met myself and the men of the We Are Us movement. We're going to be in the Po Homes community, the neighborhood that reared me, the neighborhood where my church still sits, the neighborhood where I'm blessed to be able to do all kinds of outreach work. Y'all, we stood on that property about 6 months ago in a block where there was heavy violence, gun violence, and we prayed and we submitted that property back to God. And we are little more than 6 months without any homicides, any shootings, or anything on the property. If you want to, Saturdays are open to everybody. I know you hear that this is a men's movement, but Saturdays, men, women, my brother was on here just talking about his fraternity. Bring your whole organization and come on out and be a part of this great work of engaging the community that we're doing. And all are welcome. It's Saturday at 12 noon. We're going to meet at 201 North Schroeder Street. That's Baltimore, Maryland 21223. And we're going to literally walk the community, engage people, and give out great resources and information in the process. All right. The next thing we got coming up, we have Baltimore Fathers Roundtable. This was shared with me by one of my great, great friends and colleagues in community work, woman of God in her own right, um, Miss Joyous Jones. It's going to be taking place on Dr. King's birthday at 6 p.m. It's going to be at Simmons Memorial Church, 601 Cumberland Street. That's Baltimore, Maryland, and the great 21217. That is the Penn North community, right on the corner of Cary and Cumberland, right? We want to get as many people as the capacity safely can hold to hear these great voices and have this conversation about fatherhood and other things that are affecting the residents of that community and the city of Baltimore at large. So, Fathers Fighting for Fathers is the organization that is putting this together in conjunction with a lot of collaborative efforts from many different organizations. The pastor of that church, the great Reverend Dwayne Simmons, is a friend and a mentor of mine. Y'all come on and be in the place. We're gonna have Kim Klasick is gonna be there. Darren Badillo, um, Taurus, uh, Taurus moderator. I hope that's her name, not her role. Uh, my man, former president of the city council, Lawrence Bell, and Lou and Scott Garrett are part of the main panel. So come on through, get this good information, and make sure that you share this information with people when you see it posted on my page. And last but certainly not least, on Monday last year, the parade was canceled. This year, due to COVID, we won't be having a Martin Luther King parade. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up right there on that same corner, that lot, Utah and Martin Luther King Boulevard, on the state office lot. We got permission to be there, and we're safely going to do what we do. We're going to be giving away groceries. We're going to be taking people immediately to drug treatment and support, offering expungement services on the spot and employment opportunities. That's Monday, the 17th, January 17th at 12 noon. We'll be getting all of everything kicked off. It's going to be hosted by yours truly. I'm going to be on the MIC, directing traffic, and we have some great and powerful speakers who are going to be speaking truth to power about the things that we are moving forward in this new year as it pertains to the men of the We Are Us movement. Please make sure you come out. You see it right down there in the tagline. The streets are coming together. Y'all, when we are planning these events and doing this work, we have people who have been 10 toes down in street organizations that are coming together because even if we differ in opinion on other things, we all agree that we have got to stop the killing. In order to effectively do that, we've got to make sure that we have ready resources available on the spot for those who are either in the space to commit that level of crime or to be the victim of that crime. We thank everybody for all of your support, the many donations and things that have poured in. And we want everybody to come out, especially if you're a man, if you're a black man in the city of Baltimore, be out that day. If you're a man of any color and you care to see the change that we need you boots on the ground. There's going to be a small community walk. We have to make everything safe and condense some activities because we don't want in our good efforts anybody to be sick or come down with COVID or anything like that. But it's definitely going to be a happening. All right. Now it's time to get in what we come here to do on the Employ Baltimore show. We come here to share information and opportunities with the residents of the city of Baltimore. The Mayor's Office of Employment Development stays at the forefront of sharing opportunities and connecting people to businesses and businesses to people. And we have expanded as an agency and we're doing it in a much, much, much bigger way. And one of those expansion projects has been to target apprenticeships. I had the opportunity to work with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. And one of the things that I was very, very frank and candid with them about is the reality that a lot of people in our communities that need to know about this don't really get to know about apprenticeship opportunities. It's one of those things, excuse me, y'all, I gotta share again. It actually didn't come up like I hoped it would. So I'm doing it again. All right. A lot of people in urban communities who could use that opportunity, who could use that push, are not getting it because for some reason, with all of those opportunities that they've had down through the years, it just don't make it to the hood. I'm gonna call it what it is. But guess who has been boots on the ground in the hood, making sure that all of the great opportunities in Baltimore make it to the people that need it the most? The Mayor's Office of Employment Development. And in that same spirit, in our expansion and our growth, we have connected with the businesses that have apprenticeship opportunities. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because I had one of the gurus, one of the people who was on the front line of that work with me today. He has not been with the agency long, but I've had the privilege of working with this brother, and he has come very strong, great experience, and he gets it. He knows what it takes to make the connection between people and businesses, businesses and people. I'm talking about the business service rep for our apprenticeship program, the one and only my friend and brother, Mr. Lewis Monk. Thank you for being with us on the Employee Baltimore show today. I told you Steve Harvey ain't got nothing on me, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, man. You warmed me up. You warmed me up very, very nicely. I appreciate that.
Man, it's important that we had this conversation specifically because this is one of those initiatives that's, I believe, is going to take on a life all its own. You know, this is not going to be one of those things that we do and we run it for a couple of years and then it's no longer there. Apprenticeship has always been strong in Baltimore, but we have not necessarily been able to connect the people who can benefit the most. Talk to me about what your role is, and what your goals and focus are, in making sure that we're able to get it where it needs to be.
So, again, thanks for having me. For the apprenticeship role, for my job, basically, my job is to get people jobs. That's it, in a nutshell. Our mission is to coordinate and direct workforce development initiatives responsive to the needs of Baltimore City employers and job seekers, and to promote local economic growth. That's our mission, right? In a nutshell, get people in Baltimore City jobs. The vision for this, my vision for the city, anybody who wants to work in Baltimore, they get a job. And
That's what I'm talking about.
And with the apprenticeship program, my directive from my boss, Wendy Gordon, is I need to fill 100 positions ASAP, as soon as possible. So what does that mean? That means I have to go out here and on the front end, I have to build a relationship with the apprenticeship. And then I have to go out here and find the people to fill the job. So if you're ready to work in Baltimore and it's apprenticeship, and it's a paid apprenticeship. So it's kind of like if you're going to school every day, elementary school, junior high school, or high school every day, and you're getting paid to go to class. And when you finish, you're going to have a trade. So I don't know how much easier or how much more people will need in order to get employed. And with the apprenticeship, what is an apprenticeship? Basically, the ones we're dealing with is earn and learn. So while you're learning the trade or whatever it is, you're earning money. And with ours, when you finish, they guarantee you a job. It might take a year, it might take 6 months. It depends on the industry or what the job is. But after you finish, pretty much you're guaranteed a job. And even if that doesn't work out, you have a trade that you can use. So we're just very, very excited about it. And we just got started. So we're hitting the ground running and we're ready to make it happen.
I think that's important to talk about, Lewis, because two things that you mentioned there, and I'm gonna pull them apart one at a time, is the reality that we're not asking people to come and make this commitment to train and learn without being compensated, because we know the bills don't stop for some of us to be able to go to school. Parents, trying to keep the lights on, food on the table. And then secondly, apprenticeship is different because the apprenticeship is already attached to the company that you're going to be working for when you finish the training. And sometimes they work in conjunction. You're in school and working at the same time. Talk to us, first of all, about how important it is, that we're able to, people who are interested in this level of training are still able to keep food on the table because they get paid. And then the reality that we're talking about a guaranteed job.
Just exactly what you just said. It's a guaranteed job. So you're going to work every day. You're learning the trade. You're getting paid to learn the trade. And when you finish, you're certified. You're qualified to go out there and do the trade. So then I'm going to say, when you're in the apprenticeship, you might make whatever you make. But then when you're finally qualified, you're making much more because you're actually a certified technician, or you're actually a leader in the industry in that trade. So the reality of it is that once you sign on to the apprenticeship program, you're pretty much building a career for yourself. And that's really all we need in our communities is if you have a career, that means you can put food on the table. That means you can pay your rent. That means you can just do things that you need to do in order to take care of your family. So it's very important that you realize that this apprenticeship is not free. It's paid training.
Man, that's huge. That's huge. That's huge. Now, you know, you go to North American Trade School or one of those programs, you got to go through that training. You got to pay for that training. And then at the end of it, they sometimes are pretty good at it, but you got to worry about if in fact you're going to get a job or not. This is guaranteed employment, right? Like the business is attached to the apprenticeship. Can you break down a little bit how that apprenticeship process normally works? When you have that person that's kind of you going. I know when we did the one with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, you pretty much you work in the daytime. You got a couple nights a week you go to school.
Right. So I mean, it's really depends on what the program or what program you go to. But yeah, so the apprenticeships that we're dealing with now, the one that I'm dealing with in particular, you're training for a couple weeks, right? But you're going to training every day, but you're getting paid to go to training. So that's Monday through Friday, 8, maybe 7 to 2. And then when you're done with the training in 2 weeks, they're going to hire you and maybe you'll work at a location. You might work at a place in Baltimore City. And then you go to work, you show up to work, and you're getting paid. So this is just one of the many programs that we have where the training is short, but the reward is long. Other ones, the training might be a little bit longer, but again, the reward is long too, because you now actually have a trade that when you go to look for a job on your resume, you can say, hey, I am a certified whatever it is that you were being trained for. So it's very important that you realize that and that you remember that. But these apprenticeships are basically setting you up for success.
Man, listen, y'all. I need everybody to hear this conversation. Continue to tag people and get them on here today because this apprenticeship conversation is one that is really not had enough here in the city of Baltimore. While we have a joint apprenticeship, the joint apprenticeships of Maryland, and one of the things when we was working with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers that they said to me that just blew me away is that if you was to decide you wanted to pick up and move your family to California, you call the local in California and let them know that you're coming, and they got work for you the day that you get there. It's a brotherhood, right? It's not just get that thought and idea of training, because with most apprenticeships, you're going to work and you're learning at the same time, whether it's on the job or whether you're taking a class or two during the week. Lewis, a lot of people have a tendency to associate this with people that don't have jobs, right?
Right.
I want you, as the person who's responsible, or one of the people responsible for this project, talk to the people who have been at the same warehouse making $14.50 an hour, or progressed all the way from $11.75 to $14.50, and it's taking them 6-7 years to get there, about some of the progressive wage scale benefits that comes along with being in this apprenticeship process.
Okay, so the one that I have in mind right now, it's kind of under wraps. We can talk about, at least we can talk about the wages. While you're in training, you're making $16 an hour, right? When you finish training, you're making anywhere between $25 and $35 an hour, depending on what it is that you do. So some of the benefits for the apprenticeships, some of the benefits for apprentice are that you earn while you learn a valuable skill. You receive personalized instructions from industry experts. You earn nationally and industry recognized credentials, and you build a high quality career pathway. So what does that mean? Basically, what that means is that, again, you're earning while you're learning. And a lot of times in these warehouse jobs, like Marvin said, if you're making $11 an hour, after 2 or 3 hours of hard back-breaking work, you're making maybe $12 an hour, right? Now, if you quit or you get fired, they're going to have somebody to replace you immediately. And it's going to be hard for you to find another job. Where you come to an apprenticeship, right? And you get that training and something happens. Let's say you get laid off, or you have to leave, or you have to move, or you have to move your family somewhere. You still have that training from the apprenticeship that you learned. So that's a value. That's a skill that you can take wherever you go. So the reason that the apprenticeship program is so important is that it's giving you a concrete foundation for your family, and not just for your immediate family. This could be for generations. This could be for your kids, your grandkids. You setting up something that could last for generations and generations. So we're very, very excited about the apprenticeship program, and we're here for you guys.
Louis, that's a great point that you made, man. My granddaddy always taught me you never work for your first name, you work for your last name, because you want to be able to leave a lasting legacy. And we know that the original higher education was apprenticeship.
Right.
When you go all the way back even to the Bible days,
Right.
we didn't have colleges that people went to. They got a mentor that had a skill and passed that skill on. Can you, as a bit now from the business side of it, as a BSR, as a person that works with businesses, how important is skilled labor right now, even in a world that's recovering or coming out of a pandemic?
So just for me, skilled labor is extremely important because, and the key word is skilled labor. I'm not saying labor like, somebody that's just picking up trash, or anybody can do that. Not that I'm dissing trash people, but I'm saying that's a job that anybody can do. Skilled labor might be like a plumber, right? It's cold outside. These pipes break, man. You're not trying to hear, well, I don't know if I can get it fixed. When those pipes break and you got babies in the house, you need that fixed right now. And as an apprentice, let's say you went to apprenticeship school, or you went to a program and you're a plumber, you're the guy that they're going to call. Now, if they have to call you at 3:00 in the morning, you're the guy that they need to be there on site. Now, that's just more money for you. So it's very important. The skilled apprenticeship piece is extremely important, because these are jobs that people don't know how to do, that need to be done. Plumbing, electricity, carpentry, things of that nature. These are jobs that, I'm clueless to how to do it, but if something goes wrong with my house, the kids are not going to be happy if the house is cold. So I'm going to need the HVAC guy to come out there. That's a skilled labor job, and get that fixed. And at that point, money is really not an object if you have babies and family in the house and it's cold, or the pipes are broken or something like that. So just to get back to your point, Marvin, skilled labor is very important. And to back up what you said even further, like you said, the colleges that came around a little after, but before, families and generations, they were saying, hey, this is what we did. This is what your grandfather did. This is what you did. This is what I did. This is what you're going to do. This is what your kid is going to do. And that way, you have a trade that you can always rely on.
Man, now when we talk about long-term success, right? Because we've talked about a lot of things. We talk about the fact that you got a skill, right?
Yep.
Something nobody could ever take away from you. I don't care what happens. When you have a skill, you are marketable. Then we talked about the fact that there's a progressive wage scale. You're not in that dead end kind of situation that you might be, even with a place like Amazon, who has higher wages, but your life in 6 years ain't gonna require what it requires now, right? So we
Correct.
talked about that success. We talked about the fact that the job is attached to this concept of training and apprenticeship. How many people in the skilled labor fields take this, and we talking way down the line, y'all, because we know our responsibility is to make sure that there's a job opportunity attached to it. Talk about the many people who take this opportunity and get that trade, and they go from being the plumber in the union to being their own business. This literally becomes a pathway to you being able to impact generations of your family by being able to establish your own business.
Let me tell you how easy it is. So you're an apprentice, right? And let's just use plumbing again. You're an apprentice. You go through the apprentice program, and you're certified plumber now. Now you happen to be my man that I grew up with. You're a certified plumber. So if my plumbing goes out, I'm not calling this company that's going to charge me $100 an hour. I'm going to call you because you're my man and you're a certified plumber. So then when my aunt's plumbing goes out, I'm going to say, hold up, auntie, let me call my man. So now you have that recurring customer, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And now your part-time job is getting in the way of your full-time job. So now you have a decision to make, and you say, you know what, I've learned all I need to learn. Thank you, apprenticeship. I appreciate it. But now I'm ready to step out and do my own thing. So now you see how the generational wealth can start to happen, because now that you stepped out and done your own thing, you say, hey, son, why don't you come to work with me Saturday? Son gets involved in it, or son and his friends get involved in it, and maybe they do, or maybe they don't, but they still have that skill. So you can see how an apprenticeship can really help you to be an entrepreneur and start up and work for yourself.
All of our listeners today, our viewers, whether you're listening for yourself or you're listening to take the information back, this is one of those full and comprehensive opportunities. First of all, it's no particular audience. You could be the person that's just coming out of school and trying to figure your way out. You could be the person that's been in a dead-end job that's trying to do something else. Okay, I just got a note from our producer. I thought you kind of touched on it already, but can you talk specifically about the trades that we're already in communication with?
I can. Give me a second here. I have it written down, so I just want to make sure that I'm on point with it, because I'm sure my boss is looking, and I don't want to get in trouble. Give me a second more. So some of the companies that we deal with now, was that the question that you asked?
Yeah, some of the businesses. One of the viewers asked, "What trades specifically are we already in communication with?"
Okay, so some of the companies. So we're working with, some of our partners are the Maryland Department of Labor, right? Baltimore City School System. So that might be maintenance. That might be plumbing. That might be carpentry. That might be IT type of things. We're in the healthcare industry. We are in the IT industry. We're in the construction industry. So these are all industries that we're in right now. We're focusing on right now. And not to say that it can't be more, but I feel like those are three that we're kind of really pushing right now to this point.
Lewis, I think that's a really good point, because people traditionally, when they hear apprenticeship, and I'm glad Katanya brought that up now because we get to talk about it, they normally limit it to the building and construction trades.
Right.
But apprenticeship a long time ago has kind of transcended just
Right.
the building and construction trades. Talk a little bit more about those areas again, because we're all over the place. I heard you mention the medical field and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Right. So with the medical field, your apprenticeship, you might be a technician. Who knows? You might be anything that has to do with the medical field. If you can be an apprenticeship, because now, with the pandemic going on and everything, they need nurses. So you might have an apprenticeship program for nursing, right? You might have an apprenticeship program for, I'm not quite sure what it might be for, but in the medical field, we have a lot of different openings and different opportunities where the apprenticeship program will get you that trade and get you where you need to go. And of course, when you think of apprenticeship, you might think of construction, but you might not think about IT. So, you have an apprenticeship program for an IT type of job. Again, it might be a 6-month program, it might be a year program, but then when you finish, you have a certification and you're ready to go out and forge your way into the world.
Y'all, so we talking, and Lewis, I want you to talk about it because you my guest today. We talking about personal investment. One of the things that a person has to be ready for when they're looking at apprenticeship is to make the personal investment, whether it's working simultaneously on a job and attending classes. Talk about the personal investment that businesses, you've already started talking to some businesses. What do they normally look for in a candidate?
So what I tell people all the time is, when you're looking for a job, you it's going to be hard work. You have to be dedicated. You have to be focused. Now, with the apprenticeship, I tell them, listen, if you can focus for a year, 6 months, whatever, however long the apprenticeship is, if you can just focus that long, that's going to set you up for possibly for life. So you want to make sure that, this isn't something that, like, well, I might come to work Monday and I might not come back till Thursday because it's just an apprenticeship. No, this is something that's going to give you the tools to be successful in life for generations to come. So if you could just focus for however long the apprenticeship program is, then you're going to be good to go. And I always tell people all the time, like, I ask them, like, do you have any kids? And they say, yeah, Mr. Lewis, I have kids. How old are your kids? My kid is 5. I say, do you know how fast did that 5 years go by? So if you could focus for half of that time, you could possibly be set for life. So it's a commitment. It's dedication. It's not easy, but the reward is worth it.
We talking long-term success, y'all. Today we are talking. Listen, I've become known as Mr. Jobs, Jobs, Jobs. I want to help everybody that want to change their social economic status be able to do so by getting a job. But today we talking long-term success, y'all. We talking apprenticeship with one of the gurus in our agency who is crazy because I guess people are watching this broadcast. I just got an email from a business partner who I've done some kind of apprenticeship oriented work, Matt Koski. Um, um, uh, just got an email from him, and you see me keep picking up my phone. There are people that are looking at this broadcast and hitting me up right now, wanting in on the opportunities. And I'm talking from the business side. You don't have apprenticeship opportunities without the buy-in of the businesses. Can you talk a little bit about the excitement that's been raised? And I know a lot about it because I've been at the table from day one. But talk about the excitement that was raised when the word went out that Baltimore City was connecting themselves and incentivizing businesses to do more apprenticeship.
I can. So the apprenticeship will help fulfill future workforce demands, right? What does that mean? That means if you come in now as an apprentice and you get trained by one of these apprentices, like by an apprenticeship or a company, down the line, they're going to need you. They're not training you for anything. They're training you because they need you. So that's something that can always be helpful for you. It drives the workforce development and creates economic opportunities, right? So as a company, you're actually helping to better the community, the neighborhood, the workforce, the economy, and all of that. So that's something that you might want to think about too. The great thing about being an employer is that the Maryland Office of Employment Development gives you an incentive of $2,500 per apprentice. So you can just do the math on that. I don't really do quick math, but I feel like if I had 10 apprentices in my company and I'm getting $2,500 per apprentice, and I'm not quite sure if that's the number, but I mean, if you can have, I'm not quite sure what the exact number is, but whatever it is, $2,500 per, and the state of Maryland is also going to help you out, so you can potentially receive up to $4,000 per apprentice. So that's just something that that the employer apprenticeships are benefiting from.
So let me make sure I'm hearing you right.
Okay.
So if I'm a business and I'm
Right.
already doing and using the apprenticeship process to increase my workforce,
Right.
I can incentivize it and get money that might be able to be used as a wage subsidy to grow my workforce,
Yes.
or something that will just come and benefit my company for something I'm already doing.
That is correct.
Man, businesses. Listen,
Yes.
if you know a business or involved with a business, y'all come on, man. Y'all know it's free money. It ain't free money because you got it attached to doing some good work. But man, come on. If you already doing this work or already using these kind of processes, and the mayor's office of employment development is incentivizing you for doing what you're already doing to partner with us to get the same thing done. Let me throw this at you real quick, Lewis.
Okay.
When we start talking about the business side of it, right? And looking at it from the perspective of businesses, right?
Right.
The business has that monetary incentive.
Right.
Do they have to traditionally be an apprenticeship according to what the standards were? What qualifies a business for this program?
Good question. Good question. And so to make them eligible, they have to participate. I mean, they have to register with the Maryland State Department of Labor, right? They have to provide 2,000 hours per year of on-the-job training, right? They have to provide training at a work site under the direction of a highly skilled industry expert. So let's just say plumbing. If you own a plumbing company, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you're a highly skilled industry expert. So that's taken care of right there. And if you're a plumber and you have an apprenticeship and the guy's working for you 2,000 hours, that's nothing, right? You have to provide at least 144 hours of related instruction per year of the apprenticeship. And the other thing is you have to provide guaranteed job placement for the apprenticeship following satisfactory completion of the program. So those are things that you have to do to get qualified. But I think that if you have an apprenticeship, if you have an apprentice and they're working hard for you, these things are pretty easy to accomplish.
So let me get this straight, because I like to put stuff in layman's terms. Lewis
Okay.
is hitting us with amazing information today. So if I'm a small business,
Yes.
and I'm looking to increase my workforce, bring skilled people in, or people that I can bring in and teach to have this skill that's not only going to set them up, because we start the whole first half of the show, we talked about how it benefits the employee. If I'm that business looking to grow my workforce, get skilled people that I can put and teach to do it my way,
Right.
y'all going to give me up to $4,000 to do it?
Potentially. Yeah.
Man, listen, y'all got to stop playing. Businesses in the Baltimore area. So if you're a smaller minority business in the Baltimore area, because that registration with the Department of Labor and all of that stuff is some basic business stuff. There's nothing that I heard that a credible business has not already done, right? So if you're a smaller minority business or you somebody that's looking to grow your workforce, even if apprenticeship has not been traditionally attached to the way that you have grown your workforce, you can incentivize the growth of your own workforce, the growth of your business, increase the capacity, and the mayor's office of employment development is going to help you do it.
Hey Marvin, let me add this as well. We also have a person, her name is Yessie, right? Her job is to get the apprentice ready for the workforce. So she's going to help this apprentice with interviewing skills, what to wear, what to say, make sure you're on time, writing your resume, financial literacy, things of that nature. So we're gonna give when we send this person to you, they're already gonna have the kind of basic soft skills in order to be successful already. So we are really trying to get this program running, and it's a great program. I don't understand why hopefully this is the program where I don't have to sell anything. All I have to do is present the information, and it should just be an easy cakewalk for anybody who is looking to get employed and get a career and get their future moving.
So hold on, stop the press again. Stop the press again.
Okay.
We talking about increasing your workforce.
Yes.
Increasing your capacity, which can mean bigger contracts, your ability to do more business with people that you get to train how to do the thing that you want them to do. And then the mayor's office of employment development is making sure that you're getting pre-vetted clients or pre-vetted workforce that is going to be given skills, so you don't have that 50-50 roll of the dice that you deal with sometime in hiring, because some people interview well and don't never live up to it. They're going to be pre-vetted and given the basic life and job readiness skills to be successful.
We call it our apprenticeship support services.
That is, go ahead.
Like I said, goal setting, employability skills, resume and cover letter preparation, interviewing skills, computer skills, financial literacy. We're going to help you with all that. So when we send them, they're going to be already ready to go with the soft skills. So that's what we're here for, man.
One of the things that I know small businesses really struggle with, because I'm a small business owner, and we, different for me, I work for the Mayor's Office of Employment Development, so I know all things hiring. But many small businesses don't have a human resources department or anything like that. The Mayor's Office of Employment Development is becoming, we've always been a partner in the human resources aspect. We're going to do the recruitment for you. Let me run the list down, because I'm forgetting my brother name. Lewis is hitting me with so much information, and I want you to have it in context if you're that business. We're going to do the recruitment. We're going to pre-vet the people that come through the recruitment. We're going to train them and give them the soft skills necessary to be able to be successful for the long term. We do this for the sake of retention. Then we're going to get that person to you, incentivize you to do what you're already doing, upwards of $2,500 to $4,000 per candidate, increasing your workforce at the same time. Man, if you're a business, you need to connect with Lewis. You need to connect with my man Lewis Monk. We're gonna get his information up there. If you're a person that's interested in apprenticeship opportunities, you need to connect with the Mayor's Office of Employment Development and my man Lewis Monk. His information is right there on the screen. Y'all listen, we are working hard over here, right? One of the first things that happened when we were in that space within International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, one of the first things that we addressed was the wage, because we have a very deliberate focus on what we call economic justice as an agency, meaning that even though politicians have voted for a minimum wage that's raised, we are telling businesses if they want sustainability, they have to offer a family sustainable wage to the workforce that they want to bring on. You want to stop attrition, you want to stop that revolving door that's been causing your business to not be able to progress and grow. The Mayor's Office of Employment Development has made it clear to businesses that they have to offer a competitive wage. Y'all, this move with apprenticeships that we're making now is the next step. It's the next level of the great work that we have been doing down through the years. And they didn't come and get Marvin McKinstry and say, here go another thing added on your plate. They went and got an amazing young lady by the name of Miss Wendy Gordon and built a whole team around her to ensure that this particular process gets the attention that it deserves. Lewis, I'm going to give you the opportunity to share some final information, anything that you want to share with our listening. I'm on fire about apprenticeship because
Right.
y'all know my passion and the place that I thrived in when I was a BSR was working with young people. And this helps me to be able to present something to a young person where they can see their future and see the progress. They can know that they're going to start one place and wind up another place. The goal oriented people, people who may not be goal oriented, we can help make them goal oriented because we got the plan already thought out. Talk to the people, Lewis. Give them any final thoughts that you have, how to reach you. Talk as much about you and the team as you want to. Let the people know about the fabulous Wendy Gordon and her leadership that's doing a great, great, great work in this area, man. I'm excited about what we can expect to come from this new initiative.
So let me just say, Wendy's awesome. When I first started working here, I didn't have a clue of what I was doing. I'm just going to be 100% honest. She took me under her wing. She told me to calm down, put me to work, and here I am. Wendy's thing is our main objective is to get people employed. The Mayor's Office of Employment Development, it's not rocket science. This is what we do. She's extremely passionate about it, which made me even more passionate about it. I've always been passionate about helping my community out and getting people jobs. Some of our trades, again, are healthcare, electrical, plumbing, construction, cybersecurity, or tech. And think about it. You don't even need any experience. That's the beauty of an apprenticeship. They're going to train you. So you could be somebody that just doesn't really have any experience. Like Marvin said earlier, that warehouse worker. You know what? I've been working in warehouses for years. I didn't think I was going to be able to do anything else with my life. You come get an apprenticeship, man, in a year, 6 years, 6 months, a year, whatever the prime is, whatever the length is. After that time is up, you have a trade. So you don't have to work in the warehouse anymore. You can work actually in your trade, making considerably more money than you might possibly be making in a warehouse. So I just want to say this is a great program. I'm so excited to work here. I'm just excited to to help people again in the community to be able to get careers and jobs. I like to say careers, right? So my name is Lewis Monk, MONK. My email is lmonk@oedworks.com. Send me an email, businesses or employees. Send me your contact information. I'm going to try to link everybody up and match people, and we're going to be one big happy family. And let's just get it going.
Lewis, I want to thank you again for joining us today, man. I've said it meeting after meeting, as it pertains to a lot of this information, but the way you delivered it today with such conviction and passion, man, has me on fire about apprenticeship. Like I said, we talked before about making sure that you and your team are present in every space that we're operating to make sure that people have apprenticeship when we're doing the job fairs, when we're doing the virtual stuff that we got to do right now until we freed from this this shutdown
Right,
that we in right now. The
right,
apprenticeship is always going to be present. Again, I want to shout out Miss Wendy Gordon, who is leading masterfully in this particular brand new direction. Man, I can't believe Wendy knew everything that she was even getting involved in when she took the job, and to see her
right,
take the reins of it and give it such a pinpointed direction to where now we're all understanding what apprenticeship is going to mean in MOED, and leading and guiding us in the direction that we have to go. Then you got our sister Yessie, who is literally taking a hold of each candidate and ensuring that the barriers are removed, and the things that are necessary to ensure long-term success is conveyed to them. And you, my brother, who is out here on the front lines, working with the businesses, drawing businesses into this project, and making sure that our partnerships are solid and strong. Man, it is an honor to be a part of what's happening in the Mayor's Office of Employment Development. We in the process. I think we got some stuff set up tomorrow to do some final interviews for the retention specialist so we can finalize and fill y'all team out. That's going
right.
to be another person that's there to ensure the success of every candidate and ensure that each business has a contact person to make sure if things get a little bumpy through the process, and the road get a little rocky, they have a direct person. Listen, y'all, we're not playing with this apprenticeship opportunities that we have to be able to give to the resident city of Baltimore. We don't need you to come to us perfect, but we need you to come to us ready to learn, ready to grow, ready to develop into what's going to literally impact you and your family for generations to come. Thank you, Lewis Monk, for being with us today. I'm excited about this great work that we're doing. As always, I gotta thank my friend and my sister, our producer. I don't know, she looked pretty good when I seen her this morning, and every once in a while she'll jump on the camera. But I gotta shout out Miss Katanya Lesser, who does everything from making sure the show is booked to making sure that we are produced. All I do is sit here and talk. All that on the screen, off the screen, that wonderful stuff that you see happening, that is her. Thank you, Miss Lester. I cannot move past talking about this new initiative without shouting out the Employment Services Director, Miss Yvette Clark, who is the guru who gives us the space and the room to be great. She just, as they say, she lets us be great, and we are better for it. I want to shout her out. Shout out Jason Perkins Cohen, Mackenzie Garvin, everybody in their place who, as this agency is expanding, is ensuring that the expansion is something that's going to reach everywhere that it needs to in the city of Baltimore. Y'all, we take this work into the trenches. Not that the suburbs don't need the help. We are here universally applying the services that we have in this agency to everybody. We work with people who have doctorate degrees. We work with people that don't even have GEDs. We just here working. So if you need any assistance in the way of employment, career development, training, the Mayor's Office of Employment Development is here working hard for you. If you looking for an opportunity, we are looking for you. If you're serious about your growth and your development, we want to partner with you to see to it that you can get to whatever level it is that you see for you and your family. With our focus being on economic justice, we are concentrated on building a workforce development system that really works. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again on next Thursday and every Thursday at 1 p.m. Make sure you share this broadcast today as it'll be posted on our Facebook page, YouTube, and a couple of other places so that the people who couldn't tune in with us today at 1 o'clock can make sure that they get this good information. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.